Welcome back. Welcome back. Griff is back. Griff is back. He was episode 4. He was episode 4. Now he's episode 81. Now he's episode 81 again. Welcome. Griffin, Levy, welcome. Welcome to the pod. Welcome to the pod. Griffin, Levi.
That one's for free today.
Good save on my last name, by the way.
Yeah, you said it both ways.
Griffin, welcome.
What's up, Griff?
How's it going, guys?
Fantastic. Now that you're here,
It's good to be back.
we recorded 2 episodes, and then now we've just been sitting here for like a day waiting for our next guest to show up.
Yeah, and he's been
We
a
actually
whammy
live-
the whole time.
We live here. I don't know if you knew that. Like we just sleep on the floor.
Yeah, I see a couple
in the
cardboard
studio.
boxes right
yeah,
there.
we trade. One night, I'm the mattress, and Myers just sleeps on top of me, and then the next night, he's the mattress, and I just sleep on top of him.
When you were a kid, did you ever think that like your teachers just lived in the classroom?
Yeah, I always thought that like the door you weren't able to open when you were in class was like their bedroom.
Yep, it is. And the studio is where we live. So
That's crazy.
We've been waiting for you to
Myers, I guess you didn't have that experience, did you?
I
Your teacher did live in the classroom.
Yep. My classroom was my living room.
I forgot
so
you
I
did
lived in
some
the classroom too.
I mean, I don't know if you've ever walked
I-
more into a joke than that right there.
I've watched enough TV that I can make jokes about what it was like being
Primary
in
school. Primary school.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever thought that about my elementary school teachers. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I definitely didn't think about it for my middle school or high school teachers. I do remember having Miss Beans in 4th grade.
Miss Beans.
Terrible woman.
Uh-oh.
Ironically enough, Miss Slaughter, my 2nd grade teacher, was my favorite teacher.
That's ironic.
Yeah. Needless to say, that has nothing to do with Griffin and why we're recording a podcast just today.
No.
Why are you here, Griff?
Apparently, according to people I know, I have a pretty cool job,
Apparently.
and apparently that's the only reason I'm here.
You know, it's funny. The first time that we recorded, you didn't have a job.
I didn't have a job.
Well, you did have a job, but you were primarily a student.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell us what you do.
So, I work for a small company called LIV Golf.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
I work for the Spanish team called the Fireballs. Sergio Garcia, Abraham Answer, David Puig, and Josele Ballester.
Do you speak Spanish?
I don't, and I don't understand it either. So.
Are you close to? Wait, what's the name of the team that you play for again?
Fireballs?
You
Sorry.
play for?
Play for it?
Yeah, you play for Fireballs.
You said you play for.
I wish I'd make a lot more money. No, but yeah. So I am the team videographer for the Fireballs GC, and yeah. So working
Every time that we say it today.
I think last time I was here, I was working for UAB, and
Blaze.
yeah, go Blazers. But yeah, so definitely was in, college and the whole college sports thing, and now I'm in the professional sports world. So it was definitely an adjustment period, and traveling the world just makes it even harder. So
Yeah. So what did you do? Well, I'm going to ask a lot of questions I know the answer to today.
okay,
But for our listeners, what did you do at UAB?
I was a Olympic sports videographer. So I just did every Olympic sport on campus. So
Okay.
mainly football and basketball, but yeah, so social media content creator basically.
That's cool.
Sick.
Yeah.
That's the title of it? You were an Olympic sport photographer?
Well, I just say Olympic as in like I wasn't filming bowling and
Sure.
archery and no, not archery.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you know that there's not a men's track team at UAB? I learned that yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Or cross country.
Or cross
Kind
country.
of crazy,
Yeah.
actually.
That's why there's a men's soccer team. And there's not a men's soccer team at Sanford because they have a men's track team.
Interesting.
It's interesting. And they do not count, like the scholarship thing. Like there has to be even scholarships for guys and girls in colleges. They don't count cheerleaders as scholarship athletes.
Interesting.
Even though they compete at like a national level in like cheerleading competitions.
Yeah.
Does Sanford?
Sanford definitely doesn't, but you know, like UAB's probably does, and Alabama and Auburn and stuff like that.
UAB's found some, like, they have rifle and bowling. Those are women's sports.
I was talking to Sam Fulgerson. Shout out Sam Fulgerson. Got into med school yesterday.
Yeah,
Let's
did.
freaking go.
Goat.
But anyways, he's a UAB senior, and he I think we're allowed to say that. I don't see why we wouldn't. But anyways, he was talking to his friend the other day, and she's on the rifle team, and he was like, "No way! Like, what's that like?" And she was like, "I don't know. I'm injured right now." It's like injured.
Injure your finger.
It's like you only like is your eyeball scratched? Like what? There's injuries. There's an injured reserve on the rifle team at UAB. So
Yeah, so then do you have, like, subs?
I mean, I don't know. Like, that would mean that there would be girls on the rifle team that, like, sit on the bench.
Yeah.
Imagine being like, yeah, I ride the bench on the rifle team.
I'm a reserve. It's like, eesh.
I think there's
Also,
only
like,
3.
holy cow, I need to tell my daughter to learn how to freaking shoot rifles because that's the easiest way to get a college scholarship probably ever. Is a
Probably.
rifle team.
I feel like it's actually pretty hard because there's only,
I don't have a daughter, by the way.
I mean,
Yet.
yet.
You don't know that.
Little Ronaldinho. She'll be running around
But
here.
there's only three girls on the team.
On the rifle team.
Yeah, and there's only
Oh, wow.
I think you can count on your hands rifle teams in America. So
Did you? Yeah, somebody was like, yeah, apparently they're top 20. And I was like, do we think there's more than 20?
there
The top 25 is just the whole ranking.
might be 10.
Yeah, UAB's got their top 10. That's right. Okay, so you worked as a photographer for UAB. Did you shoot the rifle team? That's hilarious. Did you photograph the rifle team?
I did not. I actually didn't take photos at UAB.
What do you mean?
Videographer.
Oh, sorry. Did you take
Yeah.
videos of the
Did not. We were not allowed in the rifle range at all. So
That's fair. Apparently, it was an old theater.
it is an old theater.
I
It's
learned
pretty
many
cool.
things about the rifle team this week.
I've snuck in there a few times. I can say that now, but
That's kind of
it's very odd.
weird. Why did you sneak in the rifle range?
because I wanted to see what it looked like.
It's
Honestly,
a little
I
bit sus. That's
honestly,
all I'm saying.
honestly, I wanted to shoot the gun, but they didn't have any.
They didn't have any in there.
No.
That's funny.
You just can't. Did you like finger pistol and like act like you
You're-
did a little
you're
bit?
kinda like
you're like
aiming.
aiming.
No.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so you worked at UAB and you were a student at Sanford, which I always think is pretty funny. Also, I feel like we should talk about this more. When you were doing that, you were on this podcast on our 4th episode. Crazy.
A long time ago.
Yeah, that's pretty
When you
crazy.
think about that, how does that make you feel?
Feels like, I was here at the beginning, and now y'all are just going global, and
Yeah, we
Right.
get 1 billion streams per week. It's crazy.
Yeah.
it is crazy.
Do you think that it feels like that was 2 years ago?
No.
I don't feel like it was 2 years ago to me at all.
It feels like it was just a year ago.
I like remember you sitting in my bedroom, or not my bedroom.
Your living room.
No, sorry, my bedroom is right next to us where me and Meyer sleep every day. My living room at home, I vividly remember us recording that. If I had to if you're just like, I was walking down the street and you're like, gun to my head and you're like, how long ago was that episode? I'd be like, I don't know, 4 months.
Yeah.
That was 2 years ago. It's nuts, man.
Dude, what you been doing in the meantime? I actually haven't. Y'all been hanging out. I haven't caught up with you at all.
I know.
So this is kind of a
Yeah.
catch up.
So
You graduate in 23?
I was supposed to. I took a victory lap. I graduated in April of 24,
Okay.
and then
And then you moved.
I moved away that summer back home to Fort Worth, Texas, and ended up getting a videographer job at a local church, and did that for a while, and then just didn't really feel called anymore. Didn't really think that was something that I was really enjoying, and first day just looking for a different job. I was on LinkedIn, surprisingly, but on LinkedIn, first thing on the videographer page was Fireball's videographer, LIV Golf, and applied, and I think it was just meant to be because it just all ended up falling into place. And
Yeah.
so then I spent the next, how long is that? April through August, 6 months. So the next 6 months traveling and going to different countries and continents, and now I'm in the off season, so kind of chilling. Yeah, it was a blast.
Hit some highlights. What were some of the places you hit?
Okay, so I did Mexico City, which is amazing. I feel like going into Mexico City, I got like a lot of negative comments, like, why would you want to go to Mexico City? Like, I don't want to, but I'm having to go.
Right.
And now it's somewhere that I would love to go back. It was one of my favorite spots. But so I did Mexico City, Seoul, South Korea, and then a couple U.S. stops, D.C., Dallas, and then kind of went on a European / UK 8-week trip and did Spain, Ireland.
Way to acknowledge Brexit.
Yeah.
Europe and UK.
Well, true Brexit geezer.
So we were in Northern Ireland, which a lot of people would think is just Ireland, but they are actually part of the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
And they take that very seriously, which is funny. But yeah, so got to experience the British Open and the Open. Did that, and then just like getting to just get finally adjusted to all the travel and the LIV tournaments, because it's a totally different ball game from what I was used to.
Ball game. It's a totally different ball game.
Just in
Fireballs.
metaphor.
Fireballs.
I don't even
It's
know
just
if
funny
you
because
could-
it's literally a ball game.
It is a ball game. It is a game with a ball. I don't know if it's necessarily a ball game.
Yeah, it's not
but-
the figure of speech.
No, I would say it's a ball game. I don't know if it's a sport. It's a ball game.
So I actually like to tell people I film a little white ball go into a small hole for a living. But
Ball game's kind of a funny thing if you think about it. It's pretty deliberately to the point.
Ball game.
ball game.
What did you
Yeah.
think of Seoul?
Wow.
Was that your first one? What was your first one?
First stop was Mexico City, and then straight to South Korea, which was the longest flight I had ever been on in my
How
life.
long? Like 20 hours?
It was like 18 hours.
Brutal.
Dude, that's a
total.
pretty good guess.
It was. I flew to Tokyo and had a layover in Tokyo for a day. But
Oh, that's sick.
yeah, I didn't get to leave the airport because if you didn't know, there's two airports in Tokyo. One's Narita and one is Tokyo. Narita is like the redneck land of Asia,
Wow.
just farmland everywhere.
Really?
Yeah, but yeah, so got to do that. Seoul is the cleanest place I've ever been. I feel like you could have eaten off the street.
Were you in is that Pohang? It's right next to it?
No, so I was in Incheon,
Incheon, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
which is like
Because the Incheon is like the new part of Seoul.
so
Old
Incheon-
Seoul, that's why I got confused. I've been there before,
Okay.
so that's what I was asking. Old Seoul is not as clean as Incheon. Incheon is like dystopian. Like
Yeah.
every inch is spotless. All the buildings are perfect. Everything is like dialed in.
Yeah, it's like super modern, super futuristic. I feel like the only time I saw people was in the hotel and at like a shopping center. You
That
don't
was
really-
the weird part to me,
Yeah,
was
you
there
don't-
weren't people on the streets.
Yeah, you don't really see people on the streets, and if you do, they're like riding a bike.
Yeah.
like it's never walking, which is odd. But then, so Incheon was like 35 minutes south of Seoul, and
Yeah.
I think we did Seoul 2 nights out of the week. We don't really get to. A lot of people think I get to just travel and have fun 24/7, but
You're working.
yeah, 6.5, or not even 6. I don't even know why I said 6.5, but 7 days out of the week.
7.
However many hours are in 7 days, I think I get 4 hours. Out of
24 times 7.
Yep.
something.
Yep.
But yeah, so I get like 4 to 5 hours a week of just like, hey, you can be, a tourist for a second.
Yeah.
But so we did Seoul, and Seoul had some pretty cool cafes and listening bars, and just getting to like walk the streets and just we first off, you can't even read anything on any of the maps.
Yeah.
They don't translate anything.
They don't translate it.
So we just looked up food and then walked to a symbol and then ate in that restaurant with the symbol on it. But yeah, so I think honestly my first 2 trips, not just because they were my first 2 trips, but Mexico City and South Korea were probably the 2 coolest places I went.
Yeah. That's so rad.
Who do you think had the better coffee scene? I want to make this coffee segment about me real quick.
Okay, from or all
Mexico
of them,
City and Seoul.
Mexico City by far.
Really?
Seoul coffee was not great.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know if I didn't go to the right spots. There were like the cafes in Seoul were 100 times cooler, but most of their cafes are like bars. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they were like cocktails and beers, and then they had,
Yeah, there is like a rich cafe culture there, but it's not in the way that we want it to be, which is like fine espresso. It's more like these are places that people go hang out, and they're all like themed.
yeah.
So you can go to like a cat cafe and
Yeah,
a dog cafe
so
and a boat cafe and like all these weird themed places.
Yeah, so the coolest one we went to was in Seoul, and it's at the original Malbon store.
Oh, cool.
Oh, cool.
So there's the Malbon store. I forget what street it was called, but it's like a street of designer stores, but the street is smaller than the studio, like
Yeah, super
Super tiny.
narrow.
super tiny. It's like an alleyway almost.
Yeah.
Barely a car can fit through it. And you walk upstairs and like you can go into the Malbon store, you'll like look around, whatever, and then there's stairs. You walk up the stairs and it's a 2-story like golf themed cafe. I forget what it was called, but yeah, the Koreans love their German and Belgian beer, so it was super funny to like just walk in and people are just drinking beer at 4:00 in the afternoon at a coffee shop, what we would call a coffee shop.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, Seoul is it's very interesting is the word I would use to describe it. I wouldn't like if someone wants to go to Asia, I don't think Seoul's the first spot, but I think it's necessary.
Yeah. It's crazy that the first two stops you go to are like some of the most populated cities on planet Earth.
Yeah.
That was the shocking thing to me. We went up to the Seoul Tower or whatever that's up on the hill. Kind of looks like the Seattle Space Needle, but it's on a hill in Seoul. And you can get a 360 view of the city. And we went up at night, and there's just skyscrapers for as far as your eye can see. And the only like dark spots are hills where it's like too steep for them to build something.
Yeah.
And there's just, I think the metro population is like 40 million, 50 million or something like that.
It's a lot. And Seoul's huge, like, because obviously Incheon's part of it, and they have like surrounding suburb. I call them suburbs, but they're cities. But yeah, so we played like 10 minutes from Incheon, and it was unbelievable. But like the way they do golf in Korea is it's everything's like neighborhoods. So they build the golf course and then they wind houses through each hole. So they're like they were in the process of building houses while we were there. So it was like kind of not as awesome as you would like it to be, but also a lot colder than I thought it would be. It was pretty chilly over there in the summer. So especially when you only have t-shirt or golf shirts and shorts. But yeah, those two were great. And then obviously Europe. I'd only ever been to the UK, so Europe was super cool, very expensive. But yeah, just getting to go to a lot of places I never would have gone without this. And it's even better that you get paid to travel, which is super cool.
Where do you think your favorite spot was personally out of all of them?
Gosh, I get this question asked the most, and it's the hardest to answer because I loved everywhere.
Yeah.
I think the most fun that I had was in Northern Ireland, but I think the coolest place I went was, I'll give you two just because it's so hard, but the coolest, like, culture-wise was Seoul, just because it was so different. But, like, coolest in my opinion, as in, like, I would go back 100 times, I would never get old, would be the Estepona, Spain, which is, like, the south coast of Spain.
Yeah.
And it's just, like, tiny hilly cities, beach, and really nice golf courses, which is super cool.
Sounds like the dream.
It's rad.
Okay, so like you get this job, you're going on all these crazy, golf trips with them to play these tournaments. I mean, what has it been like you like work in professional sports. Like what is it operating in that same like atmosphere as all these people?
At first I think we had talked about this before, but figuring out that I was, going to be working for them. So like I'm in my room, I get the call, hey, we're going to hire you. Like the sort of like shock / like wow factor, like, oh, I'm about to work for Sergio Garcia and get to be around all these guys. And then you get there, and it's just sort of like when you get to experience it, you kind of just realize they're normal dudes, which is super cool for me as a golfer. It might be different for other people, but, just getting to see these guys like when I was growing up and now getting to be a part of their life basically is super cool. But yeah, I think like obviously going from college sports to professional sports, it's like, oh, in college it was like, oh, they have a chance of going pro. Like, no, these guys, like, they are the top of their game and they've been there for a while and like they know what they're doing. Like in college it's always the if this, if that, if this. And professional sports is different, very figured out very fast. Especially LIV is very, it's a political like system. Like professional sports is politics and money, and that was sort of hard for me to understand because I just want to watch guys play golf. But there's a lot more that goes into not just being a professional athlete, but like working in pro sports than I ever thought there would be. Getting just on a relational level with the guys is super fun. That was probably the most fun thing I've done this year in terms of my work. And they're just like awesome dudes when you get to know them.
What's like do you have a lot of creative freedom in what you're doing, or is it pretty like we need this many clips of this many of each of them and they have to say this, that, and the other, and this one needs to be a promo and this one needs to be like a dubstep EDM sick like edit, whatever? So we have a small staff. There's only 4 of us excluding players and caddies. So they trust what like my judgment. Obviously there's sponsorship stuff that has, you got to use more of this guy, less of this guy. We want this color on them, not this color, and logos here and there. But other than that, when it's just for our social media, they give me creative freedom. And if there's something that I miss or they think would work differently, they would tell me. But yeah, so I get to go week in, week out, just getting to do what I want. And it's been working so far, which is super nice because at UAB it had to get checked by like 8 different people every video. But yeah, so it's just me. And I think that's like another reason this job is super cool and unique in sense of it gives me like that freelancer mindset, but I work for a company. That's sick.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
When you are videoing these things and you're around this, you were a golfer, like that was like you grew up playing golf, came to Sanford originally as a golfer, and now you're, working in professional golf. Is it weird to think about, like, there's probably like a lot of photographers out there that never played golf, or probably like suck at golf or never want to play golf. They just, like being in sports or whatever. But as a golfer, how has that kind of shaped your experience being out there?
Well, like first reason is I only became a videographer because I, got hurt and really couldn't play golf further. So it's more of just like, it's my way of still being around. Not that I can't play anymore, but like chance of playing professionally is completely over.
Sure.
But yeah, a lot of the photographers there, they play golf now, like photographers, videographers play golf now because of their work, but they never played previously, which I think is super cool that just having a job can make someone want to play a game. But
Ball game.
Yeah, but I think playing any sport when you're working in media is like understanding the game makes it easier.
Yeah.
Especially with golf, it's still hard for me because it's a stationary sport. So you're trying to make a dude stand over a ball and swing look cool where it's not, LeBron James flying down the court.
There's no like action moves.
Yeah. So it's a lot of like I'm trying to make a movie out of one shot over and over and over again. So just understanding like, habits and like Sergio grips his club a certain way, and it's like understanding their routines because I've seen it over and over and over again. And every golfer has like something they do. So just filming the moments that the other guys are never going to think of catching is something that I think playing has helped me a lot with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I'm curious, like you talked about this a second ago. I mean, what do you think does separate these guys? Like, not, I mean, obviously, like Sergio Garcia he's a freak, but like there's guys like that are like Abraham and how do you pronounce it? Puig or Puig, that are like guys that are on the team that you work for that are very good golfers, but not like, you know, they're probably never going to win the Masters like Sergio. Maybe you would disagree with me on this, but these guys aren't like, you know, like freaking
a bunch of Scotties.
Whatever. They're not like Scotty Scheffler, Tiger Woods, or something like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, what do you think separates them from, you know, your buddy you played golf with yesterday? That's just like was on the Sanford team.
Well, a lot of it's consistency, which is crazy. Like you don't. These guys don't go out and so like for me and a bunch of my buddies, it's like we can throw up a low score like anybody on tour can, but then we can go, you got to do that for 4 rounds in a row.
Yeah.
And these guys are so dedicated to what they do, which is another reason, like a lot of people just don't have it. Like the work to be that good. And these guys are so obsessed with their game that it's actually kind of inspiring to like watch, because it's like they can act like normal people but be freaks in
like mentally.
Yeah, like just the mental fortitude that goes into the game of golf is like at a college level it's one thing, but to go to the next level, it's especially like with these guys traveling and all this stuff, like I'm exhausted. I was exhausted after I flew to Mexico City. First 3 days, we weren't even playing. I'm exhausted. And I'm like, these guys got to do interviews. They got to do media stuff. They got to do photo shoots all before they play. And they have to practice in between those. So I think it's just wanting it, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I talked about this whenever Miles was on, because Miles was talked about his experience going through the combine and stuff. He was almost went to the NFL. But anyways, my buddy... like played wide receiver. He was like I don't know if I think he played on like game day teams like a few times, but he never started. But he was on like the practice squad. And one of the things that I talked about with him was like people don't give credit to how you kind of have to be a little bit manic in order to be good at professional sports. Like and it's funny because a lot of these guys, like when they finish in the NFL or the NBA, they end up being like really, really good businessmen too. Obviously, because they have a ton of money. But when they get out of professional sports, and that always helps in business. But also like their like capacity to do things and to value their work over everything else in their life is like remarkable. Like it's kind of crazy. And like you're saying, I think inspiring is a good word because it makes you think. Like how much further you could go. I'm also curious too, like, do you think that they are, because, you know, like with golfers, the one thing everybody always says is like, oh, these guys look like, you know, if you saw them out at like Walmart, you wouldn't even know they're professional athletes. Do you think that everyone has the capacity to do something like that? Or do you think that they're literally gifted? Obviously they're physically gifted to swing a golf club, but do you think that there's like a little bit of uniqueness to the mental like gift that they have too? Like I don't think that you could like force Myers to become like mentally like an elite golfer, to be able to go and get over jet lag fast, traveling all over the world, playing like 3 rounds of golf, shooting 62s, 60s, like crazy good scores. Like that's insane. Like those people like it feels like they're a little bit like, you know, like professional golf isn't necessarily like, obviously they worked for it, but I feel like to a certain extent, it's kind of just like figuring out who the unicorns are, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that says it perfectly. I think, you know, not everybody's meant to play a professional sport, and I feel like they know that. And they know that they're just gifted beyond, you know, the normal person. And that's just like how life is, which is... But, yeah, I don't think you can just take Myers and make him a professional golfer, but like the mental side is definitely teachable, but it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
Which is just another reason I didn't continue to play, and just because it's taxing on your brain and your body, and anger and all those just get boosted up when you can't do anything. So
yeah. That is wild. I mean, it is kind of cool too. Like, you know, if you didn't work in your job, you wouldn't even know. You know, like as a previous college golfer and friend of a lot of college golfers, it would kind of just remain a mystery of what it would take to get to that level.
Yeah,
but because you've had that access, you can kind of answer that question.
Yeah, I think like a tangent on that is like people are like, oh, they play for LIV, they're not that good anymore. No, I think, I don't think they aren't on the PGA Tour because they got bad. Like, were they top 5, top 10, top 15 players on the PGA Tour? No, but like, were they, you know, keeping their card 100%? And
yeah,
I think a lot of it opened my eyes to, you know, what LIV is, and
yeah.
It's not just these money hungry dudes. Obviously, money has a lot to do with it. You're trying to provide for family, yourself. Just be set, I guess, is a good word. But a lot of it is just like on PGA Tour, you play 51. They play 51 weeks out of the year.
Yeah,
and so you have 1 week, 2 weeks to rest. Like, you got to keep playing to make money. Like,
yeah.
Here it's, you know, we're going to travel, we're going to play really competitive golf, but we're going to do it where it's not forcibly taxing on your body. And I think burnout is a good word to use, and it just shows why a lot of PGA Tour guys go up and down in terms of
status and stuff.
Yeah, status.
I think it's kind of crazy how, you know, there's a unique conversation surrounding like other professional sports regarding like schedules and stuff. So like baseball, like there's always, and you know, in the off season, people always go on these like tangents about how they should play less and then like or play more, and they end up always playing more. And then NBA the same way. They have like 80 games. They're like, well, what if we played 83 or 85 or 87? Like, just getting a few more opportunities to make a little bit more money, which doesn't really make sense to me because of like it genuinely. If you want to argue with me about like how much money is like enough, if you want to argue with me that greed isn't the driving force of that, you're gonna have to try really hard with me because it just seems so obviously like greed is the pushing factor or like the driving factor in that. But with football, like the NFL, they're like 17 games. They take 7 days in between games. Or not 7 days, 6 days. And there's more downtime in a U.S. football game than, you know, any other sport. But when they play, they like are straight up just like hitting one another. And then like with soccer, there's like they play longer than anybody else, and they play like 3 times a week sometimes because of international stuff and like mini tournaments and whatever. I just think it's interesting how the conversation surrounding that is like, I don't know how to explain this, but the athletes have this like unique job where they are like entertainment, and like that's why it exists. And that's what they get paid for. But then there's also like this ethical conversation of like how much should they entertain while also holding their like humanity and stuff. And it's like this weird, it's just a strange conversation that no one really knows how to, like, there's not like a formula or something like that. But that is like one of the main things that LIV offered to people. You know, it's funny because it was like, hey, here's freaking, I don't know how much money they gave the big guys. Here's $200 million plus you get to play less. And then people are like, yeah, dude, we get to play less. And I'm like, the fact that there was $200 million on the line, and then like in the room of that conversation, the player can be like, oh yeah, and I get to see my family more. And it's like, it took $200 million for you to consider seeing your family more. Like, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, this ethical conversation is just strange, you know? This doesn't really have anything. I don't want you to make any comments about LIV, but just like as a sports fan, it's just weird.
I do wonder about that just on a meta level, like in professional world at all, if it's sports or if it's business or if it's anything. I feel like there's always this push to like do more, at least here. And there are some other countries like Japan or maybe China. But you do kind of reach this point of like diminishing returns where then you end up with people getting burnt out on things because they're just going too hard and they're not taking care of other areas of your life. And I feel like our generation is kind of more keen to understand that and try and balance in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Like that's
never mind. Keep
that's
going.
a lot of what I'm passionate about in business is like I'm very inspired by Yvonne Chouinard from Patagonia, who like all their employees at their headquarters don't have set hours or set time when they're supposed to be in the office. Their time off policy is called "Let My People Go Surfing," and so it's like if it's a beautiful day like today and it's a Tuesday, like go mountain biking, go ski, go surf, like go enjoy your life, spend time with your family, because like life is more than just work. And you want to be excellent in your work, but being excellent in your work doesn't always mean working 40, 60, 80, 100-hour weeks. It doesn't mean working 48, 49, 50, 51 weeks out of the year.
Yeah.
And I think I also wonder, especially with sports, like at some point you get diminishing returns on like performance out of athletes. Like at some point you're wearing them out and they're not performing as well as they should. And there is this like, there's definitely this grind, like you're talking about, Griff, where it's like, you know, Kobe is in the gym shooting shots before and after both practices because like he wants to be the GOAT, and then he becomes that, you know?
Yeah.
Like there is that element, but then at some point there's like, I think once you're there, it's like the governing bodies who are controlling how many games people are playing and stuff like that. Like, are you risking more players getting injured because they're playing 3 90-minute soccer games in a week? Like, where's the line that you draw? And it's really hard to figure that out, I think, with professional sports of, like, there is this grind to get there and to become that professional athlete. But then where do you draw the line, you know? And I feel like our generation is probably going to be the one who tries to figure that out. I don't know that, but I would hope that is the case.
I think from the business standpoint, like going off of Mr. Patagonia, I forget how to...
Yvonne Chouinard.
Yeah, I'm not going to...
Yvonne Chouinard.
You know, like working at UAB, working at the church, it was like, you know... UAB, I wasn't working, 9 to 5, but like I was working 9 to 5 hours, just not over extended period of each day. It was more of like, hey, I could work 12 hours this day. I can work blah, blah. And I think I kept getting like worse and worse and worse at what I was doing because I'm having to do it every day. And I think that's something that like LIV has brought back. It's just like my enjoyment of what I do, which in return has made me like more creative. Just because, like I didn't get to work the whole season, and I'm sure we'll talk about next season in a second, but we'll call it January to end of January to end of August. Like it's bang, 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 bang. There's a few breaks here and there, but like we have an extended off season, and like working remote, it's my hours as long as, deliverables are done and staff is happy. And but yeah, so just getting to, I feel like I think I would say, like, looking back on it now, is like frick being a business student at Sanford, because I was only a business student for 2 years, but I remember in one of my first classes it was like they felt like they were praising being a cubicle worker, and getting up, going to your 9 to 5, and going home, seeing your kids. And
would you say that's similar to your experience too, Mars?
I think so, and I think that's why I wasn't as involved in the business school. Like, Sam Edens is like Mr. Brockstar, and I just like wasn't. And I think that's because I was like, I don't want to work at Regions. I don't want to like go be a cubicle rat. Because again, like that's like the soapbox I'll probably die on. It's like if I could change one thing in the world with my life, that's what I want to change. Is like, if you treat people like adults and trust them to get their work done because they are adults and they are responsible, I think you'll get way better results.
And it's easier to be like, you need to work 14 more hours a week, instead of being like, hey, why are you not motivated?
Yeah.
It's a lot harder to have that conversation.
Yeah.
Than
Speaking of Sam, he asked me, he's like, has anybody from like Sanford like reached out or no, it was Jacob. Jacob asked, he's like, has anybody from Sanford like reached out and asked you to come like talk in a class? And I was like, maybe if my old film professors were still working at Sanford, maybe. Yeah. But like, I also think, say I was a business student and I decided to do this, or if I was just a business student working a business at LIV, they would see it as in like, oh, it's not, you don't work at a bank, you don't work in an accounting office, you don't work 9 to 5. I don't even think they would like think about it, which I think is kind of messed up.
I also think a little bit, just because I know a few people who've gone back to speak at classes, I think a lot of it is like people reaching back out to Sanford.
Yeah, I was going to say,
you get that.
Everybody who's doing that is asking to do that.
Like for my career, I would rather go speak at UAB if they asked me, just because. Love Sanford. Love Sanford. I wouldn't recommend it more. And that wasn't a shot at Sanford. I just think it was a shot of like, you know, the way business is seen now.
Yeah.
But I think experience outweighs class time.
Yeah.
And I don't think business is different, but like I feel like if you could take half the classes a semester and like work as a associate at an accounting firm somehow, like while you're taking accounting classes,
to get real world experience is way more useful.
And I think everybody knows that, but sometimes I feel like school doesn't prioritize that, and so I kind of had to take that into my own hands. But in terms of doing it while you're in school, because nowadays, like especially in my field, like I know you're not supposed to really like look at it, but technically on my application for Fireballs, it was 5+ years of senior experience in videography, content creation. This is my 5th year doing it, and so that should just say that you should apply that you shouldn't really look at how much time. But say I was coming right out of college, I wouldn't have had anything if I didn't do it while I was in college.
Yeah.
And filming is totally different because nowadays every school has a sports videography intern team, which is super cool. But, I feel like maybe the business school should have something like that.
I got a random thing to ask. All right, this is since we're here talking about workplace things, I have a hypothetical. All right, so say you, let's see, I'm going to try and give you both like hypotheticals that exist in your workplace. So say, what's like a super time consuming part of your job? I'm presuming it would be editing.
I would say editing, or for me,
formatting to a deliverable.
No, I would just say editing or like storing clips, labeling clips, which is super boring.
So if you got an AI service that did that for you, 5 seconds, do you think, and it did it perfectly, like exactly how you wanted it to do, you were like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And then Meyer, say you got an AI service that quoted churches perfectly, or commercial businesses perfectly, and you had an opportunity to make, or you know, what's whatever you think the correct salary rise you would get right now with your current workload, you still could get it, but you could work 20 hours less a week because of that AI. Do you think you would remain 20 hours a week getting that same amount of money, or do you think you would just end up doing more stuff because you had an opportunity to make thus twice as much salary wise?
I think now in today's world it's the latter. You have the capability of doubling your workload, and we're going to double your workload, and you're going to make the same amount or just a little more.
Well, I think it's really interesting that in the world that we live in, like email technology, the way that supply chain management works, because everything is created across like overseas or like in really cheap areas of the country. Like we have a chance to work way less, and we don't. And then because of that, people throw this like kind of vague platitude of like, oh, well, your work ethic and your work ethic's bad and you're like not a good man because you could support for your family more. And I think that's a fascinating thing about this conversation that we're having about like work ethic and stuff, or not work ethic, but like work-life balance. I think that like with Liv and having like the interaction that you have with your like life on life, yeah, even like the fact that you like don't have an office, I feel like kind of it reinvites the fact that you're like a human being with that with like, you know, a mom and a dad, and like you like put your shoes on, you're like a normal person, you're a human before you're like a hierarchical, you know, chain of command or something like that. Whereas I think with offices and desks and walls and whatever, like it can kind of become pretty difficult. So that's why I talked a lot about George and Willie's office yesterday, and I guess it was last week's episode for the listeners here with who was that? That was with Andrew.
Andrew.
And George and Willie's office is like completely open, and like they have like different workspaces available. And it kind of feels like George and Willie is like the main person that's like working. Like George and Willie, like the company is the main person that's working, and everyone there is kind of like trying to make that. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like George and Willie's the company, and they're like the primary thing that's happening, and then everyone else is just kind of helping that cause, rather than everyone there's just trying to like, you know, like I just thought it was so frustrating whenever I was at Birmingham Legion. Everyone there was like checking their LinkedIn for other jobs, like while we were at games.
Yeah.
Like while we were like doing like what we wanted to do, like you know, the people that were there like dying to work in professional sports, they literally were freaking like looking for other gigs on their phones.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like the same sort of idea of like no one's content whenever they're like their primary, or like it becomes like individual and not like a corporate thing. But anyways, there's my soapbox on work-life balance. Okay, so talk to us more about like how that kind of plays out with Liv. I want to hear about that specifically.
Work-life balance?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's really easier when you're not tied down to an office. Like during the year, my office is different cities, different countries, hotel rooms, which I'm not a huge fan of. But like, what's stopping me from walking out of my hotel room and walking down to a cafe and editing, which in Europe isn't really... people don't really do that in Europe, but who says...
No laptops.
Yeah, no laptops. But...
So are you just at Starbucks a lot?
No. I'm usually like down the lobby at like restaurant or something like that. Just kind of... Or in the media room on site. Usually that's the best Wi-Fi, which is hard to find all over the place. But yeah, I mean... At least with my team, I can't speak on LIV because I don't work for LIV. I work for Fireballs. We all like get along, understand each other, and we know that, you know, when things need to get done, they're gonna get done. But like, don't shoot yourself in the foot trying to edit a video. Like, my boss has been super good at just, you know, reminding me like, hey, if you need some extra time, just let me know. Like, it's not going to kill us kind of deal. Now there's things that have a deadline, like I really like need to be done on that day. But we'll know. It's not like if I worked in, like when I worked at UAB, it could have been a huge video or a small video, but they treated them all the same, which I think like in some capacity could be like good that like they take the small things. But like, in my opinion, a 15-second cheerleader promo video is not the same as an intro video. Like, an intro video is way more, there's more eyes on that. Like, nobody's going to watch an ad over and over and over and over again. And, but yeah, so I think, but off season is super nice because it's, you know, I just kind of get to be at home and do all that. Yeah.
What are your responsibilities right now with you just being off season?
I mean, we still post every week, and there's still videos I need to get done, and I'll travel a few times.
How many like weekly standings do you have? Just one? Just that one you have on Mondays, or no? When it wasn't Monday.
Meetings?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We have a team meeting every Monday or Tuesday, and then maybe one or two a week that might get added. So maybe I would just say like on average two a week, 2 meetings a week, and then it's usually 3 videos, which can be 2-hour edits or 2-day edits or yeah. But yeah, I love it. Getting to do what I think it's really like the work-life balance all comes down to, just how much trust your higher ups have in you.
Yeah.
And like they trust that we're going to get our stuff done. So, they kind of let us do whatever as long as it keeps us.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're passionate about what you do, you can't do it well without enjoying it, and you can't enjoy it when you're forced to do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which is something that super grateful for them.
Yeah.
So.
It's funny. I'm pretty independent, want to work for myself. I'm pretty vocal about that. And it's funny, like in jobs past, how I'll be passionate about working at the coffee shop. And then like when my boss is like not engaged, not supporting me, not helping me thrive, like how much that diminishes my work ethic.
Yeah.
Even though I love coffee and I'm so stoked to be
Yeah.
here. Like it's so odd and unfortunate how much consciously or subconsciously like bad leaders affect your work, even if you're like stoked about doing it. So I think that's awesome that you have good people leading you.
Super cool. It's also cool to see the players, how understanding they are. At UAB, it was more of just like, oh, it's your friend. Like, hey, can I get this, this, and this, and this when you shoot it? And then, like, for them, it's like, you want to go to, like, dinner? Like, that kind of stuff. And, just getting a...
Do you think there's like a safety that they feel with you because you're on the team?
100%. Yeah. They don't.
You're not a fan.
Yeah, they don't really mess with anybody else on any of the other teams, which is actually kind of funny.
How many teams are there? Yeah, I don't know how LIV works. So can you explain like how the teams work and stuff?
Yeah, we probably should have did this at the beginning.
Yeah.
So for Myers and those who don't know, LIV is a team-based golf league. There are
as opposed to PGA, which is individual based.
Everybody for themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, and so within each tournament, there's 13 teams, 14 tournaments. So there's 4 players on each team. I'm not going to do the math, but somebody can put it in the comments or something. But so 14 events. There's an individual competition within each event and a team competition. So you're playing for yourself, but you're also playing for the team. So 3 days, let's say all our guys shoot 4 under all 3 days. So that's 36 under. 16 times 3.
32 plus 16 would be 52 to 52, sure. 52.
We'll call it 52. This is why I failed calculus.
We used to make jokes about Steven math. I'm not any better, but I don't try and do
At least I
math
tried.
You did try.
You did try.
You tried better than me.
48, not 58.
It was 48? So I was wrong, but I was right.
Right.
Sure.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
Anyways. So you combine the score of all 4 players on the team.
Correct. And you take all 4 scores. And so college and high school are used to it because you play individually, but you also play together. But in college and high school, you play 5, but you take 4 scores. In LIV, you play 4, and you have to take all 4. So, it's the constant up and down. If you birdie, you go up. If you bogey, you go down. And, the cool thing is you can be, we were down 12 on the final day in Spain, and we only lost by 2. So it was like, you have to keep it going. Like, even as an individual, you have to play well all 4 days, but like your team's got to be pretty dialed in all 4 days as well, which is sort of cool to like see that. Like Sergio loves it. Like Sergio's a huge team golf guy, and he would rather the team win than him win. Obviously,
So cool.
obviously he wants to win. Like everybody wants to win. But I've seen him more fired up when we do well than when he does well.
That's cool.
That's sick.
I'm also curious too. Like, I mean, as a pretty well-spoken LIV hater myself, I'm pretty curious when these guys get off the tour or like the PGA Tour and they come there. I don't know how to this. Like, do you see like a more, because LIV is such a more relaxed environment, like the competitive environment? Do you see that on other teams or like at all in LIV, or are people like genuinely like balls to the walls competing every single week? Or is it kind of like, if like when you were down by 12, like your team actually went out there and they were like, let's freaking kill these guys, let's go? Or are they like, oh, let's just go play golf, see what happens? Like, I'm really curious what the vibes are like.
I mean, yeah, I think working and like getting to experience it firsthand. These guys aren't just going out there and just being like, oh, let's go play 18 holes, and if I play well, I play well. If I don't play well, like these guys are genuinely pissed off if they play bad.
Really?
And these guys are going out there trying to play their best every time, which is cool to see.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people at the start are like, oh, these wash golfers are going over there so they don't have to try, they don't have to play that much, they get to make all this money. Like, money's a factor in everything you do nowadays.
So I know a little bit about LIV just from being friends with golf people. So is the perception like when Premier League players come to play for the MLS as if it's like the retirement league or something?
It's like
It's
like when
the
Premier League players go
stereotype?
play for the Saudi league.
Yeah, go play for
Okay.
the Saudi
Like, so
League.
they get, because like young Premier League players will leave because they,
Like
but
Mbappe or whatever his name was.
Neymar did that, and then also like I feel like a better, like obviously like the Brooks Koepka, like there's like the Cristiano Ronaldos that did it, but then also like, I don't know if you know like Damari Gray is. He used to play for Everton. He's like a very good Premier League player, and he was like 22, and he's Jamaican, and he was like, yeah, like he got offered 10 times more than he would ever make in the Premier League to go play for it's like Al Nassr or whatever the name of it is. And I feel like that's the majority of the players is like good 27-year-olds or 28-year-olds that were like, that very much so could have been like, that's the whole thing. Like Abraham Answer like came in 4th at the Masters or 7th at the Masters or something. And that's from my perception, that is why LIV opened up the checkbook for him, like because he literally accepted LIV like 2 weeks after he did that.
Yeah, so I think nowadays it's different than the beginning. In the beginning, it was like, we're going to go get notable names who are good or still playing well.
Yeah.
And so it was like the Phils, the DJs, the Brooks, Sergio. But nowadays, it's the teams who get to go out and get the players. So, like, there'd be no David Pooge if it was still done exactly the way it was at the beginning. But there were no teams at the beginning, so it was kind of hard. You're just trying to get players to commit.
You're trying to launch this thing.
Yeah, you're trying to get players to commit. A lot of teams have been going after the younger guys, like John Rahm's team. Him and Terrell are the two older ones, and they've got a young American on the team, and then a younger British guy on the team. But other than that, like, I wouldn't even say like the young guys. It's all young, good guys. Like, there's a lot of them, but most of them are like, they're all just like solid. I don't want to like bash anything, but there's a couple teams that aren't very good. But
Are the teams like yours is the Spanish team? Are they all kind of divided
There's a
up
British
by
team.
countries, or is
The
it
cliques.
just-
no, they're not all divided. So technically, we're not the Spanish team.
Oh, okay.
We have a Mexican. Abe's from Mexico.
Okay.
They all speak Spanish, but there's also another team where they're all from Latin America.
Okay.
Which they speak Spanish too. But yeah, they try to keep it either country centered or
language
or whatever. But yeah, there's no American team. There's a Spanish team. There's 2 teams full of people from the UK. But yeah, they don't try to label it. I think now they're trying to, but they don't really try to label it as, oh, this is Team America.
Team
like
Spain,
Bryson's team,
France.
they
whatever.
have a guy from India on Bryson's team. So,
Yeah.
But it just so happened to work out, and like all the guys like each other, and it's nice when they all speak the same language. I feel like it'd be a little different if they
Is there like a team coach or like team principal or something over the team?
So there's a GM, and then there's director of operations, and then there's technically he's my boss, but he's really just my point of contact because we both have the two above us, and then there's me. There's no like each player has their own coach.
Okay.
It's not so much like this guy is going to coach our team.
Yeah.
It's like it'd be like in soccer if you were going to get private lessons or like a one-on-one skills training.
Yeah.
It's like that without a head coach for all the players.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
like Abraham's old putting coach is now his caddy.
Cool.
And he's still his putting coach, which is cool. But
Huh.
it's a lot of that. It's like still like an individual game, but there's just a team aspect into it now, which is cool, and it's franchise based, which I think is cool. I think they're starting to put the nail on the head of like how it's going to look like F1. Like F1's the closest.
That's what I keep thinking of.
Yeah.
Is like there's teams, and then they're sponsored by, or they have their engine from this company, but then they have their it's Aston Martin is the head brand.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
It's exactly like F1 in terms of that.
But then, like, even though they're a British team, they might have like a Spanish driver. Like, it doesn't necessarily matter what country
like
or wherever.
each Fireball is just different because Sergio just wants to keep everybody alike.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, who knows? Like it could go either way, but from what I've heard,
So is he like are there like owners of the teams? Like if I had $100 million and I wanted to like get into LIV, I could like buy or like create my own team and then like recruit players.
Yeah, so the sponsors hold equity. So they're technically the owners. John Rahm is an owner of his team, but that's rare. He has stake in his team. So does Brooks Koepka, I believe. I'm not sure though. But yeah, not like I think you obviously have to go through steps to like create a team. But you could definitely put money in to own a team if you wanted if you wanted to.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So you came in mid-season last year,
I came in.
or did you go through the whole season?
I started in April. I started on tournament 6, so I missed the first 5. So this coming season will be my first full season with the team, which will be interesting because the first 5 events are pretty wild. But
What are they?
So season starts second week of February, I believe. I say season starts at the end of January because we have media week, but we start off in Saudi Arabia in Riyadh, and then we go straight to Adelaide, Australia. And then we have a little bit of a time break. I think it's like a week and a half or 2 weeks. And then we go to Hong Kong, China. And then so Saudi Arabia and Australia are back to back, and then a little bit of a break. And then we go back to back Hong Kong and Singapore. And then I think we have like a week or 2 weeks again. And then we go to South Africa.
Sick.
So those are the first 5. And then
That's like all over the world.
It
That's
is,
crazy.
yeah. So me and my buddies back home, and we're talking about because I've obviously the only continent I will have not visited after South Africa is South America. Don't really count Antarctica because that's sort of just like out of the reach.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's like
one
people
day-
who are trying really hard to say
Yeah.
they've been to all the continents go to Antarctica just for that reason.
one day when I have endless money, I will visit. But
Is there not a stop in South Africa? Or, sorry, South America?
there's not yet. I've also just never been. But yeah, so the flight, so we'll go Saudi Arabia. So I'll fly from Dallas straight to Riyadh, and then we'll fly from Riyadh down over to Australia, and then we will wrap around the world the other way to fly from Australia back to Dallas, which is super cool.
Yeah.
So I'll officially have a lap around the world.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's so sick. What do you think you're most stoked for? What stop?
Australia.
Yeah.
I think Australia is gonna be super. I mean, it's so hard because I get to go so many cool places.
Yeah.
But I've since I've been in high school and college, I've always wanted to visit Australia.
Yeah.
Especially now that it's like gotten into coffee when I was in college. I've heard the
Very-
cafe scene is
Yeah.
coffee scene is super good there.
Yeah.
It's only espresso, but yeah, we'll give her a rip.
That's sick. I was supposed to do the one study abroad thing that I was supposed to do was Australia, and then COVID hit. So I
happened.
didn't get to do that.
It's the home of the flat white.
It is.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
They're the first people, from my understanding, they're the first people to call it that.
I can't say I've ever had a flat white before, so I'll have to
Give
try
her a
it.
rip.
I'm a big cappuccino
Give it a
guy,
rip,
so it's a
man.
little.
Yeah, I was gonna say flat white cappuccino.
Isn't it just like a bigger cappuccino with less milk?
Other way around? It's
No,
a
it's
smaller
what,
cappuccino.
what we call cappuccino, they call a flat white.
Yeah.
And then a cappuccino is a cappuccino with a ton of foam.
Oh, okay. So I have had a flat white before,
Yes,
basically.
yeah.
Okay. Well, there's this. Yeah. So in Australia, I might actually. I'm really thinking about staying like an extra few days and going to. So Adelaide's on the southwest coast of Australia, and I'd really like to go up to Melbourne, but it's like
Yeah.
I think it's like a 2.5 hour drive, or maybe I can find a flight.
That would be cool.
But for stuff like that, I'd pay for. LIV doesn't pay to cover
Yeah.
stuff like that. But yeah, other than that, like, I mean, Hong Kong seems sick, and
Yeah.
Singapore I've heard is amazing. I
really want to go to Singapore.
I heard Singapore is the cleanest country in the world.
Wow.
That's what I've heard. But
They've obviously never been to Alabama.
yeah, they definitely haven't been to Alabama.
Whoever they is.
It's so clean, people don't have teeth.
Wow.
In Alabama, not
Wow.
in Singapore.
No,
Yeah.
not Singapore, Alabama.
Yeah, obviously.
Dude, when you look down the tunnel of your life as a person who has like a gig that you can kind of build off of in a lot of ways, like what it gets you excited about for the future? You like live forever? Or are you like, I don't know. What I mean, any other? Are you thinking like I would love to work in another sport, or just thoughts on aspirations?
And to be clear, you're having a great time right now. So you're
Yes.
not looking to leave.
At 24, I can confidently say I have my dream job, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Like when you're in first year business school and they're like, "What's your dream job?" You're like, I was like, I want to work for the best golfers in the world. I didn't know it was video at the time, but like, well, I guess like if you asked me 4 years ago what I would love to do, it would be I want to work in golf and I want to get paid to travel. And now I have all of that. But I think like looking down the road, this is such a big stepping stone. Like I'm getting to be a part of something new and like cool, and like who knows where it goes. It could just keep growing, and I just ride it out until I'm done with it. But yeah, I would love to, if it's not just freelance, I would love to do some form of action sport. I've always wanted to do that, whether it be like snowboarding. I feel like filming snowboarding would be sick.
Yeah.
That'd be so rad.
Snowboarding, skateboarding, something out of the box that
Yeah.
not a lot of people would do. Or I'd love to like go on tour as a photographer with like a musician or something. I feel like that'd be super
That would
fun.
be super cool too.
Like a DJ or something like that. I feel like that'd be cool.
That would be rad.
So like you're definitely, actually let me ask you a question before. You know how like Augusta National, they like their job board comes up every year, and you like they hire everybody like every single year. Do you think that if you applied to be like a photographer for Augusta National for that weekend,
Or
That they
videographer,
would
since
give
you
you
are
the
a
opportunity.
videographer.
Yeah. I mean, same thing, I guess. But gosh, that's a hard question. Before this job, no. But with this job, I think there's a better chance.
yeah,
But we all know how people feel about LIV.
sure,
But yeah, I don't know. The dream would be to work for the Fireballs at Augusta for
Yeah.
Sergio or one of the people. But I think I have a better chance, but I still think they would say no.
yeah. And you said that all of them are going to play the Spanish Open, which is if
is
they
a-
win, they're going to
Yeah.
Augusta.
So three of the four on the Fireballs are going to play in Madrid in 2 weeks. Still don't have my flight, but we'll figure that out. But yeah, so with the new rules with the RNA and the Masters, the winner of the Spanish Open gets exempt into the Masters next year and the British Open.
Cool.
Which is super cool. So we could have more than one at the Masters theoretically.
So can players from LIV still play in certain PGA tournaments?
So they can't. They are banned from the PGA Tour.
Okay.
You're banned from the PGA Tour for a year after you leave, but you're banned while you're playing on LIV as well. But you can play on DP World events, which is the European Tour, which is tied to the PGA Tour, ironically, like weirdly. But you do players pay a fine to LIV for playing in DP World Tour events.
Okay.
So like every one of our guys is going to pay some sort of fine. But
Is the Spanish Open a DP World Tour event?
It is. Yeah, it's a stop.
Also, Mars, you might not know this. The Masters is not a PGA Tour event.
Okay.
The Masters,
Is
the
a
U.S.
world,
Open,
yeah.
the players,
The Masters, the U.S. Open, the British Open, and the PGA,
or the PGA Championship.
are not PGA. PGA Championship
Championship is not a PGA.
It's owned by the PGA of America.
Okay.
Which therefore owns the PGA Tour, or like PGA Tour's run. That one's got an asterisk next to it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Anyways.
The other three.
the other three are all privately like run USGA, RNA.
Definitely
Augusta.
friendly with the PGA
Yeah.
over the
Yes,
LIV. But
definitely very heavily favoring the PGA.
Yeah.
But all the majors are based on world ranking. It's not how well you play on tour. Some like on PGA Tour you can win and get exempt, but top 50 in the world get exemptions into any major or all four. And then there's exemptions out of that. So like LIV is very.
It's also hilarious that the word is exemption, because in every other context of the world, exemption means that you do not get to go.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask. I was like, so exemption is a good thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exemption is like you get exempted.
It's like an
you get
auto bid.
Exempt in.
Okay.
It should be inempted.
Yeah, maybe
I don't know.
maybe we can start saying that.
Moving on.
Start it now.
Moving on. No, so LIV is super popular with the Asian Tour, which is like a smaller mini tour, so you can play well on the Asian Tour, get status on the European Tour, and so on. But like LIV is a sponsor of the Asian Tour, and they have these things called International Series, and that's just another way for LIV players to so like. One of the other team's players, Carlos Ortiz, won one of those events and was exempt into the British Open. So it was like, there's other ways around it, and like
Yeah, but if you win the Spanish Open, you get to play the Masters.
you do, yeah.
That's sick.
And for the Spanish Open, like, there's a high chance that the guys on your team could win that tournament.
I would like to say that we have a pretty good shot at it. Yeah,
Do you get to play golf while you're traveling?
I do.
Do you get to play some of these like insane courses?
I do. So
Wow.
Some Mondays after the tournament, there are some spots that are open where we get to play. I only got to do that twice this year, and I'm not complaining. Like obviously like in Mexico City we didn't get to play, but one day during the week when we had nothing going on, and all of our work was done, me and my boss and a couple other people took an Uber like an hour away, played a random golf course in Mexico City, and then drove back. And then Korea we were supposed to play, and then it didn't happen. But yeah, so I got to play in Spain at Valderrama, which is a top 25 course in the world, which is pretty crazy. So we got to do that, and then played a lot of golf in Northern Ireland when we were there for the British Open, because our house we stayed in was right across the street from a golf course. So we were all on some sort of like high, and we would just get done with work, go home, work, walk across the street. But it's sunny till midnight there, so
Oh, cool.
11:30. But it's
But you can play like all afternoon.
we would play till midnight, and then you go across the street to a pub, get a Guinness, and then go home and go to bed.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And I don't know if I'll ever get to do that again. So we were taking advantage of it.
That's so cool.
I guess you theoretically could do that here, but it would just be, you'd probably sweat your entire life away.
You'd sweat
It would
really
be
bad.
$600 billion.
The golf wouldn't be as good, and the Guinness wouldn't be as good.
What makes golf good?
Oh, I like that question.
That is a great question.
Like, not necessarily what makes it fun, obviously, but like, what would make a perfect round?
So the golf course not...
No, golf course included.
Okay, well, I'll go golf course, and then I'll go experience.
Okay.
Golf course takes money, lots of it.
No, like he's talking about like
No, like
what?
the
Like when you get
the
home,
elements of it.
like what makes you say this is
Like,
good golf?
oh, this is really nice
okay.
grass.
Okay.
Obviously, if you pay a lot, you're gonna.
Well,
get
I thought he was
good
talking about like what makes a good golf course, and then the experience on
Oh
the
no,
golf
no.
course.
Like
Okay.
what's making you say like this is good golf?
Like dream round.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, it starts with people. Like I want to play with like
Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club. Yeah, bring 6 some at Augusta National. 16 some at Augusta National sounds like the best.
16 some.
No, but like when I think of my dream round, obviously as a golfer who's very particular and like likes architecture of golf course, I want like a course that is architecturally sound. Like it's not just flat. And so to now, my dream round was Valderrama because it's obviously like picturesque. It's beautiful.
Is it on the coast?
It is.
Valderrama?
Not like right on the coast, but like within
You
a
can
mile.
see the ocean.
Yeah, you can see the ocean. You can also see Gibraltar from.
Oh, cool.
Which is super cool from the golf course. But yeah, just like manicured grass, like everything's in perfect condition. Like people have definitely taken pride in like taking care of it. And then like just the vibe of it, just getting out there and just feeling like we've got Hermanos Gutierrez playing and just they don't do iced coffee, iced Americano, and just like hopping in I hate playing those types of courses. So dream round, I would have walked with like a caddy and like had a conversation and got to like really experience the course, but we were in carts for time purposes. But yeah, I think just like having the best course in terms of like where you're at and what you have with a good vibe. I would hate to play, like I'd rather flip it. I'd rather play a bad course with a good vibe than a great course with a terrible vibe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just like course with amazing condition, amazing views, good scenery, just like picturesque. The architecture of the course is just super. I'm a big history buff, so I like historic courses. Valderrama's got that, and yeah, just like the vibe was great. Like we got to play with 2 senior writers for golf.com, which is like a big golf magazine.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were both from Australia, so it was just like super cool
Cool.
Yeah.
to just do that. And also being a new experience, I think ties into it too.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
right.
I think the prettiest course I've ever played, it was like a bad day, which is so funny, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Like whenever I played at Wailea in Hawaii, like the course was unbelievably pretty. Like you could see it was like ocean views. The grass was perfect, but my brother was just being like literally the most annoying person in the world that day. And he's like making fun of me, trying to get me to do bad shots. I was like, dude, I paid like hundreds of dollars. And you really want me to hit a bad shot right now? Like it was like, but also like, so I feel like when you're with a group of people that can split the middle of like competitive and fun, like 80% fun, 20% like, oh, we like low key don't know who's gonna win, but it doesn't get talked about like until the 18th hole or like the 17th hole or something like that. I feel like that's the best vibe.
Yeah.
So that's like I feel like for me a way to practically say that. I think that when somebody is on aux and they're blaring like just bull crap, gosh, it is such a bad vibe.
Yeah.
Like, and honestly, I think on a golf course, it's pretty hard to play bad music because you're outside. It's just like, don't play rap music on 11. Like, just play like literally anything else on like just a kind of a chill volume that matches the vibe. it's a good vibe, you know?
Yeah.
Like
And for me, like, I love golf courses that are not in neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Like when a golf course is in a neighborhood, it feels like you're playing you're playing with like and I don't know, I think this is probably a better way to explain this. I'm gonna explain it this way. If you walk onto a golf course and the people in the clubhouse are like, they're the ones trying to make the golf course or the golf like pretentious, or not pretentious, if they're the ones trying to hallow the grounds of the golf course, it's so backwards and annoying. But when you walk on a golf course that's truly like, it just speaks for itself, usually the people are not jerks. They're usually just like, yeah, like, look at this. Like, isn't like they're fans alongside you.
Yeah.
Rather than like, I mean, I walked onto a course one time in Wake Forest, and Wake Forest is full of like, in North Carolina when I lived there, and the vibe of the city was so weird because it was like a bunch of people from up north moved down to Wake Forest, buy these boring homes, and then they pay like country club memberships, and so this place is like kind of soulless, and it's like a good golf course for sure. Like the greens are nice, like whatever. And I remember walking in and I was wearing like a Tiger Woods mock neck, and he was like, "You gotta wear a collar, player." And I was like, "What? What?" And he was like, "You have to wear a collar. It's like there's a dress code." And I was like, "This is a Tiger Woods golf shirt."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, is it really?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he like made me show him the tag of the shirt, and I showed it to him, and he was like, "Okay." And
That's crazy.
he was like, just this, like, he was such a bum.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, like, are you serious right now? Like, I was like, that just goes to show you, like, we could psychologically analyze that for like, I was wearing a piece of cloth around my skin, and he was like, as soon as he figured out that it was this name associated with it, except for a T-shirt, he was like, "Oh, you're good." And I was like, what even is this? You know, just like leave me alone and let me go play. Like, it's a game. I don't understand why people have dress codes on golf courses at all, to be honest with you. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is when the people in the clubhouse are jerks, I feel like that's just not good golf. Mm-hmm. And I think that whenever golf is like a beautiful landscape, not just like weaving through a neighborhood and trying to make money, like I think that also is the same sort of vibe. Like when you're at Birmingham, or what's the place that Heath is familiar with so much?
Shoal Creek.
Shoal Creek. Or Mountain Brook. Or Purcell Farms.
Vestavia. There's a lot
Vestavia.
of them.
Like here, when you're out there, like no one's, like this, the course is the one that's like making you feel terrible about yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like destroying you, when you're out there playing. The people don't have to help with that. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's where it's like a good golf. And like, the day that you sent us pictures of you playing golf in Northern Ireland, mm-hmm. Like, I think if you drove by that course, if you weren't a golfer, I don't know if you would be able to tell that it was a golf course, because it was just a beautiful piece of land. Mm-hmm. And it was like, it just kind of looked like rolling hills in like Northern Ireland. There was like no trees.
Yeah.
And it was just, there was like, you were on the coast, and it was just beautiful. And there was like these super tall, like wavy grass. And there was just like, manicured grass kind of throughout it that they called a golf course. Yeah. And that's where golf was invented. So I think that's where, like, Scotty Scheffler talks about it. And he's like, links golf is what it's called. Like, links golf is, you could go out there and somehow golf could be cheaper than Robert Trent Jones here. But, it's just because everything's just so freaking commercialized. Not to go on an American capitalist rant, but...
Yeah, I kind of want to take back my dream round now that I really think about it. And you brought up Northern Ireland. Getting to play links golf in Northern Ireland with the worst clubs possible. Like, we were playing with... We literally went to a thrift store and bought clubs.
Wow.
So I had a wooden driver.
Let's go.
A wooden 3-wood, half an iron set. I think I had an 8-iron, a 4-iron, and a 2-iron, a wedge, and a putter.
Yeah.
And we went and walked a golf course in the pouring rain. Like wind whipping rain coming down, and I'm like, this is amazing. Like,
that's
you wouldn't, like, if you went and played Highland Park in the wind and rain with crappy golf clubs, you'd be pissed.
Yeah.
And that, I feel like it just comes down to experience, and you don't need that experience here. But over there, like that's like all I watched as a kid watching the British Open. Was like people just getting whipped around by wind and rain and putting through puddles on the green. I don't know. That one, I think that has stuck with me the most.
What is links golf?
I don't know why it's called links.
I don't know either. We might have to ask. What's his name?
I can put a definition.
The creator of golf.
Oh yeah, freaking yep, that guy.
I don't remember, but in Scotland, for whatever his name is, but that's what they call it. But like the way I look at it is just like,
I think it's like, I mean, it's literally like it's like a not in a reference to a sausage link, but it's like the course like is like a long line and it like links together. Like but it's like it's not like so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not like switchbacks. It's like it goes like you play 4 holes out, 4 holes back. Yeah. But it's literally just like but a lot of times it was on the coast because it's like flat
on the coast,
land,
tall fescue grass, pot bunkers, which are like bunkers with like thick lips. You have to hit it over.
Ball just rolls forever.
Yeah, ball hits really hard, rolls forever. Greens are super small or super big, but super
and
fast.
They have links courses in America too, but there's only a few places they can exist, and one of them is
it's not the
Great Lakes and like Oregon.
Oregon, you can have a links course anywhere in the U.S., but they don't work.
Yeah,
they're not close to the ones in the U.K. as like Oregon's are, and Michigan and Wisconsin.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I saw. We're officially to the point of the podcast where it's like the only people here left listening are the ones who want to be here. But
my dad, my dad's a big golfer.
That's right. But I went down to Lake Martin with my cousins a few weeks ago, and I saw the new golf course that they built. It's Golf Digest. It literally was less than a year old, and it beat out all these amazing golf courses as the #1 golf course in Alabama. And I saw it, and it's crazy. 14 of the holes are on the lake. And like when I say on the lake, like legitimately, like there's no like trees in between the water and the green. Like it's just the green and it rolls off into the water. And it was so freaking cool. And it was like, I think it's beautiful too whenever people do golf in Alabama because it's not Augusta National, but it looks like Augusta National because there's a ton of pine trees and just like leaning trees with like these super beautiful rolling kind of fairway type things, like pine straw pine straw on the rough and all that stuff. And it was, I literally saw it and I was like, this is one of those courses that, like when you're out here. Also, the clubhouse was not this like pretentious frat house looking thing. Like it was like this beautiful, like you ever look at what's the course, Whistling Straits in Wisconsin? Like it's like a matte black kind of old farmhouse looking thing.
Yeah,
that's the way the clubhouse is. At I forgot what the name of it is.
Is it
Willow Point? Yeah, that's what it is. It was just the clubhouse wasn't calling all this attention to itself. It was just like this beautiful piece of property, and the people out there. I mean, there's no telling how much they're paying to. Apparently, if you were a member at the other golf course there, Wicker Point, I think is what it's called. Mm-hmm. It was only $20,000 to join the new golf course or the new golf club.
Willow Point's at least 6 figures.
Yeah, Willow Point was like or Wicker Point I think was still like entry fee over there was like $60,000 or $80,000, and then they got a discount to join the new one. But you had to pay the fees for both of them. Apparently, it's only like $350 a month to be a member there.
Yeah, it's really not. It's really not the monthly dues that break the bank. It's the entry fee.
Yeah, it's just freaking insane.
Yeah, but
how many members can these kind of courses have?
They usually have like
300.
Yeah, like a few hundred. Yeah. It's just freaking crazy that like.
Did you know it's not a thing in the UK?
Membership?
Not really. Like you can be a member, but it's not like we're limited to this many people. At least in Northern Ireland, like. You
can go play like St. Andrews, like the best golf courses.
Yeah, you can go play whatever course you want.
Yeah, I don't understand, man. That's just something where I'm gonna constantly lose that fight my entire life as an American. I'm just always gonna be frustrated about like I don't understand how people can own property on the water in the ocean. Like I don't understand how that's possible. Yeah. I'm like the beach is ours. It's not. Yeah. Anyways. That's a Norwegian thing. Right to the coast. I think it's so cool. Like in Australia, you think like when you're walking out to the beach, somebody's gonna be like, "You're on my property." It's like I'm literally like, no, that's not a thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm gonna get off my American soapbox because if we keep talking about the beauty of golf in Europe versus America, I'm just gonna get. It's just one of those places. In America, you can't even like golf with everybody thinking that you're a douchebag because it's such a rightful opinion.
Yeah.
If you like golf, people just totally assume you're a douchebag.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how in the world could you like this incredibly corrupt sport without being a douchebag? And to my answer would be, touche. It's really hard.
It is really hard. I feel like I was, just to add another point, I was gonna say like the more I've experienced, like especially the home of golf, how much they just love the game and not the money, which kind of makes me kind of hate playing golf in the States because it's like they could care less if you enjoy the course or not. They just want your money. Mm-hmm. And we went and played probably the coolest course. It's called Port Stewart. It was right across the street from our house in Ireland, Northern Ireland, excuse me. What was his name? The pro shop's just this like little shack, just there, and you can be a member, but there's no locker rooms, there's no pro shop. It's just you're coming. Hey, I have a tee time, blah blah blah, and we're going. And we got through the round and we're dropping. We were dropping off our like walking cart thing or whatever it was called, and dropping off. And we sat there for 30 minutes and just talked to him because he was just wanted to know how we liked the course and
so cool
and stuff like that. And like, I feel like you can get that sometimes here, but that's like a normal thing. I think
you can't get it at like good courses here though. You can only get it at lousy courses, which is why I like low key love lousy courses in America. Like I think it's so cool. You can go out to Greenbrier. That guy will talk to you all day long. Yeah. And he'll just be like, he will literally have no idea how you like golf enough to come play golf there.
And it's not like, okay, you need to pay before you go out. It's like, you can go out and enjoy the course.
I like showed up one time. You might have been with me. I showed up one time and no one was in the clubhouse.
Yeah, that was all of us. We were all there.
We just started. And then we were like 2 holes in. The guy came out and he's like, did y'all pay? We were like, no, no one was in there. We just figured we'd pay at the turn. He's like, all right. Left.
That's awesome.
His dog's just chilling out there.
Yeah, but I feel like Munis. I mean, when you go to Roebuck, the guy. I mean, sometimes Roebuck will have, Roebuck will have like workers that don't really care. But when the guy who like runs the place is there, he's always down to chat. Yeah, he's booling.
Yeah,
but then I don't know. I think that's. I can't talk about this publicly on air.
In everything that you do, don't be pretentious, and it makes everything better.
Don't be a douchebag.
Yeah.
If people walk into your car dealership, let them look at the cars. It's fine. If you go play golf, be nice to the people who are being your patrons.
Seriously. Yeah, I feel like you can. I feel like one of the places that you can get that vibe the closest is that golf course in Marfa. They literally. I don't think that you have to pay to play golf in that golf course in Marfa.
I didn't even know there was a golf course in Marfa. Yeah. That's crazy.
Random Golf Club did a video on it. Anyways, Griff, I think that it's freaking cool that you're getting to play golf all over the world, and I think it's awesome that you are getting to have your dream job at 24, and it's incredibly inspiring to all of us.
Proud of you.
And I'm just really, really, happy that this is your second episode and it's far from your last.
It is very far from my last. I feel I'm kind of interested. I didn't watch the first one or listen to it, but I need to go watch it or listen to it, and I'll listen to this and see how different it'll be.
It's probably gonna be very
interesting.
I
was a loser back then.
Back when you were a baby.
I was a baby. I don't think I had any facial hair back then.
I don't remember.
You're at least working on the stash by that point.
I was trying. Did you know every friend of Steven's has to have a mustache?
Yes. Yeah.
It's kind of weird. We all do.
It
makes me want to shave it.
How about you shave one half and I'll shave the other?
I mean, I think I was the first one. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I mean, like Zion technically was because like Zion and I both had mustaches when we met each other. But so I guess like there was.
I grew mine.
But it is weird though. Well, literally, like today, I was like, I was taking photos of us at freaking Whammy, and I was like, maybe David didn't have one. I think David did have one though. It was like David, Paul, Jacob, me, y'all two, Jacob or John McClendon. Or I think John had
one guy. I don't remember his name because I just met him. He didn't have it. He didn't have a mustache. Green shirt.
Green shirt. Yeah, that was David. David he didn't have one. But I was like, this is freaking hilarious. Like, we look the same to everyone else.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for coming today to Word of Mouth. If you're still here, I'm grateful for you. And just make sure to catch Liv. It's on the television.
Fox.
Half of the year on Fox.
On Fox.
Fireball.
Psych and LeBride.
Go.
Hey.
Actually, can I give one?
Plug.
If everybody could go follow our social media accounts, it is we got
Fireballs GC.
At FireballsGC _ on all social media. We have to get to a certain amount of followers by the end of the year, so we can be in good standing with our general manager. So,
Wow.
yeah.
How many followers do you
our
need?
boy?
We need
250K?
150 total across
All social media?
all social media.
Oh, yeah, you'll get that.
TikTok's big. Go follow the TikTok, please. I don't use TikTok, but go follow it.
Okay.
Download TikTok just for that.
Hey, as they say in the furniture business, cheers.